Oh, welcome into So Rare in the States. It's time for our weekend recap. You know what? MLS plays through the international breaks. You know that. We know that. Okay. We're here. We got the Chris MLS card guy in the house. I mean, I guess technically kind of have him because someone just realized that he had to set baseball lineups. So this might as well be a baseball show now because we can't ever get your undivided attention, can we?
No, you cannot. It's very difficult to set lineups and speak at the same time. But sometimes when you don't realize what the heck is going on, sometimes you got to do multiple things at once. So that is what I'm here doing. My lineups are almost set. We're gonna hit the we're gonna be clear by 13 minutes. Like we had all the time in the world, to be fair.
Easy money.
Yeah, I believe that was the last one that I needed to set right there. So kudos to you for shouting out and asking me if I was still playing So Rare, because I am actively not playing So Rare at this point. But I am excited to get back into this because we're gonna play baseball this midweek. We already we've got lineups coming for midweek, right? Tomorrow. That's the lock, right? I didn't miss that one yet.
No.
And then we're in Atlanta coming up this weekend to meet the people. So come on down, say hi, and convince me that So Rare is still a game worth playing and worth having my attention.
Yes.
Because right now, I need to be convinced.
Look at that. Shout out Mike Basson. Even he had his MLB lineups. He's across the pond. Look at that. Shout out to Mike Basson. And can't stay long, but I know he always goes back and listens. Get your Z's. It's good for you. In Polito, we trust. Yeah. Alex not here, but even here in the chat. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You ain't even hanging out, but you over here in the chat. Red or Dead in here. He was
said he had homework.
Hey, gents. Always. He had homework. And MLS Silver Scout, even talking about Atlanta, we'll be seeing this Atlanta native. Yes, we will be seeing this Atlanta native person right here. So, starting for anybody that wants to know, we're going to be in Atlanta this weekend. The boys hanging out. We're going to go see Atlanta United versus Nashville, the battle for the wooden spoon. So that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. Either way. So if anybody is around the general area, anyone likes Atlanta United, go to Atlanta United, or just close enough to come hang out. We'll be there early. We're going to be hanging out at the Brew House Pub Saturday during the day. Early before the match, hanging out. The MLB, Sober MLB, Hunter himself over there at the sideline talk. They're going to be in Atlanta also. They're going to be going to a Braves game.
Yes.
So, hey, we're all going to be in Atlanta. There's going to be a lot of Sober players. So if you're in the area, if you're going to the game, not going to the game, hey, come hang out with us beforehand. Let's vibe. Let's party. And we'll be there Sunday too. So, hey, let's go hang out at the aquarium.
I may need some help because Alex has a comment in here that's worrying me. Is Stanton dead? What happened to Stanton? What's wrong with Stanton? Somebody comment in the next 13 minutes so that I can make this change. Because I'm ready. I'm ready to make the change, but I need to know.
But listen, look, we're not going to make this into a baseball show. Every time we get Chris the MLS card guy, it turns into Chris the something else card guy. Okay, and we don't get it all. But hey, all right, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna hop into the MLS week, and there weren't a lot of games. There were only 6 games, but in perfect MLS fashion.
Can I pick which one we start with? Can I pick which one we start with?
Yes, go ahead.
There is a specific team right now at this very moment in time that is in the playoffs, and that team's DC United. Right now, they're in 9th place. Granted,
they're finally up?
They've played more games, but they are in 9th place, boys and girls. They are ready to go get their hearts broken by Miami if they win the first game.
Wait, so who dropped out? Atlanta?
Atlanta.
I assume it's Atlanta that dropped out, isn't it?
Atlanta is 10th. Or 1 point ahead of them. Philadelphia's not in it. New England is still.
Atlanta just dropped out.
They still got games in hand, but New England is kind of behind. So yeah, big win. I love this league where a team can go 8-12 and have a negative 13 goal differential and be in the playoffs. Fabulous league.
We love the MLS, and so does Boston Sean. Greetings, welcome into the chat. Hey, Alex reaping. Look at that.
So that's good that he got a T3. Stanton has 4 games though, so I don't know.
But yes, DC United taking down the mighty, just kidding, not mighty, Dumpster Fire United, 2-1 on the back of Benteke and Owe and Cleach with 2 assists. Look at that, doing what he's supposed to do. Jared Stroud has been existent after being awesome, and DC United have, Leagues Cup, baby. It happened. They went on a run. They beat some Liga MX teams. Everyone was like, oh, whoa, here we go.
Played 2 games.
But they were cool games. They were great games.
Oh my God. And I went, yo, come on. It's 2 games.
All Booten rallied, but hey, it is now bleeding out into the MLS regular season where it's 2 games. Or no, you guys lost that one in tragic fashion like you always do. But
yeah,
you know what it is. Either way,
we're still a tragically bad team that will not make the playoffs. So we are home against NYC, at Philly, home against Columbus, at Nashville, at New England, and home against Charlotte. So, like, these are big games. Like, New England's a big game, at Philly's a big game. Like, you get a draw in these 2 games, and you give yourself a really good chance. But if you lose these 2 games, you're trouble. Trouble is a brewing.
Yeah, that's not looking good for you, Chief. It ain't looking good for you. But it's not looking good for a lot of those teams fighting for those last couple of spots in the playoffs.
That was a big win. They had to beat Chicago at Chicago.
Yeah,
that was a big win.
Yeah. And hey, there's no Shaqiri. Shaqiri's gone, but they still can't make it happen. But hey, your boy Andrew Gutman, he is back.
Yeah,
he is back. Look at that.
I have Andrew a lot of Gutmans, don't I?
Didn't you buy like 10 or 20 on this show? Yo,
did I?
-10.
I have one. I bought a lot of Jalen Neals. I bought a lot of Jalen Neals, but I have one Gutman, and somebody yelled at me for it, and now look at me fly.
This is peak MLS. It is a -10 AA and still banging a 70. Love to see it. Oh, it was a banger too, wasn't it? I wonder if I could find that. But either way, what are your realistic expectations that DC United make a push for the playoffs here? Like realistically.
I don't know. I think the biggest competition, like, you play New England head to head, so like you got to get at least a draw in that game. If you get a draw in that game, they've got 2 games in hand on you, but they're 5 points back. Like, at this level, you're in good shape, right? Like they should, with 2 games in hand, theoretically get 2 more points. So that would put them 3 points behind you with only a few games to play. If you assume they tie, if you beat them, obviously, like they're just dead. Like Chicago, I think is dead now because there's
they're dead.
6 games left. They're 6 points back. Montreal has 7 games left. They're 5 points back. So like they're close enough. But I think it's really down to these 3 for 2 spots. Maybe Toronto. Maybe somebody can catch Toronto. But I think this is your race right here. Unless like New England just goes ham. I don't know what their schedule looks like.
They are like, we'll talk about them for this game because they're making it happen. They're not the greatest, but they can get results.
A draw at home against St. Louis really hurts. Like really
but
bad.
Dude, St. Louis is on fire right now. So
but it's St. Louis. They're still
You've always been well, they dug themselves too far deep of a hole, but hey, they had a busy summer. I know you weren't here for it, but dude, St. Louis after this summer are looking mighty fine.
Are they our breakout candidate for next year? Is that where we're going? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll watch a few games just to prove
as much as I'm trying not to FOMO into Hartel. It's really hard. I'm trying to wait to the off season. I know it's gonna go down. Season's almost over, but it's so tempting. It sucks not having in the gallery for a really good price. But yeah, Sorare's got to bring it out. We'll have a little Gutman banger. Golasso over here, off the corner. Look at this, Andrew Gutman getting things done. Just
chest it down too.
Beautiful strike from Andrew Gutman.
Don't play games with me, big boy.
There you go. See, there's quality in the MLS. None of that nonsense. Don't give me that. Who cares if it's a defender? It's still fun. It's still cool, I guess. But hey, you wanted to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Because this weekend, you already kind of mentioned it. New England 2, St. Louis 2 at home. Kind of unfortunate result for New England. It was a back and forth game. They were just going back and forth, goals after goals. Carlos Hill is back, banged 100 in his return. Still getting that decisive either way. I've been saying it. Who needs Rioni when they have Langoni? Their new signing, Luca Langoni, getting his goal, looking dang good on that wing. Dude, New England, they were bottom of the barrel. This team was down in the dumps. It was bad. We were trying to fire Caleb Porter 6 weeks into his job, but either way,
should have fired him. They would have probably been fine if they had fired him. To be fair,
they might have still been fine.
I mean, like they Like they beat Montreal 5-0, but then they lost to Salt Lake. They drew with St. Louis. Neither of those are great results. I mean, they haven't really had an impressive win in MLS since like the beginning of July against Atlanta.
Any win is impressive for this team, especially with the way the season started.
Like that's the last like good result.
Yeah,
you know. So outside of that one, but like,
hey, these are two teams at the bottom of the barrel.
I am not like they may play Columbus's and Miami's B teams and still lose. Oh. Like these guys may rest starters and still.
I'm not saying they're the greatest. I'm not saying they're having a whole revelation, but I'm just saying there are stuff.
A revolution.
See, you're catching what I'm putting on. Okay,
but look, they're at Orlando this next game, right?
Losing for sure.
Yeah, that's tough. Then they're Montreal. That's okay. At Charlotte, that's not gonna go well.
No.
Nashville at home is fine. At Houston, that's not gonna go well. And then like DC, like I feel like they'll be dead by this point. I feel like they'll be just like 8 points back, and it just won't matter. So yeah, I don't think New England's coming back.
No chance.
We'll have to see. But like, I think it's really down to these 4 teams for 2 spots.
Oh, I agree. So. I definitely agree with you. But it's time for, especially for these teams, like even St. Louis, New England. These are the teams that we're like, all right, we're already looking at next season. Okay, we're already looking ahead. We're going, what are they? Because these teams, they're going to be tinkering lineups. They're going to be bringing players in and out. At this point, they're working for next season. They're trying to see who they're going to keep and then who they're going to go after in the offseason. So there's a lot of things to look forward to. We're like, hey, we may not be picking up a lot of these guys right now, but you're wanting to start paying attention for next season, especially with in season. You're going to want to buy some little low-key guys early. If you get to scouting now, have a plan, set a budget aside for early next season. We can hop into in season and immediately start making money because the threshold is gone. RIP, which I miss dearly.
I think that's a larger conversation about Sorare strategy, to be fair.
Yes. But that's what we're reviewing the weekend.
I don't know if we're ready to have that conversation yet.
All right, fine. But Alex does bring it up. Henry Kessler on the opposite team. They traded defenders because Tim Parker's on the other side too.
Yeah, that's a typo, actually.
I kind of had Tim Parker over here as a revenge game, but I forgot about Kessler. But hey, look at him getting it done. And Marcel Hartel, which is like, what, 5 games in a row? This is what I'm talking about. Marcel Hartel. Let's talk about him for a second. Look at these scores. Since coming in,
pretty good.
He's just had a great time getting it done. I mean, Hartel's he does the Ricky Pooch thing where he drops all the way deep to get the ball to start the play, to run all the way back and make it happen.
Yep.
He's the captain. And
that's how you score points in Sorare.
That is. He's doing it all on both sides of the ball
at all times.
Yep. And it's been great. But yeah, the limited price, like, it's been pretty steady. But at this point, it's like, do I want to pay a premium, especially for in season?
No, absolutely.
Maybe not.
No.
But we're trying to win cash, Chris. We need to win cash.
No.
We need to win cash. No. Yes.
They have 6 games left, people. Come on.
But dude, prices are so cheap. They're like, come on. You might there's chances to win some money. Maybe not with PSV running around, but hey, there is a little bit of chance to win some money.
Yeah. PSV is not going to dominate every game. They're probably only going to dominate like half the game. So every other week you will have a chance. Just not the weeks that your team does well.
Yeah, and even $30 get you a decent in season in the European pool too.
Yeah, so I would much rather go in season in Europe, for sure.
So you're already done buying MLS. You're like, moving on, moving forward.
No, actually, I will start to do some of what you were talking about with like finding guys for next year, but it's not going to be like I'm gonna probably sell off some European stuff because it's top of their season. I might sell off a little bit, but like also my MLS teams are pretty much set. Like I don't really.
Well, you're like what, 4 or 5 years in?
Yeah, I don't need a ton. So like I might move a few things around, but like I'm not gonna go buy a lot if that makes sense.
But you don't have a Hartel.
I do not. I don't have a Hartel. He's good.
A Hartel.
He is good.
No, he is way too good. But then there's a couple things that we'll get into it. Porter went in on the officiating. It was like
I saw the handball.
It was a handball, right?
that was a weird call for sure. Like it was a weird like situation. And I think it's like just straight up, it's a 50-50 call with the referee. Like I could either way, I could see it being fine.
What was it? I like kind of saw the post. I saw some outrage, but I just scrolled past it.
It was a handball. Like the defender went up to contest a header, and the ball came off the offensive guy's head as they're like very close together, and then off his arm, which is kind of away from his body, but also his elbow is tucked. So his arm is like this basically, where his arm is in, but like also still tucked at the same time. And then
like the chicken wing.
It comes off his head here and just hits his arm here, and it's like, or chest maybe. So like he had no time to react to it. So like it's like all of the handball like biggest nightmare things. That's like nobody really knows like what is and isn't a handball, and that was like all of those things all rolled into one. So like either way, it like just make a call and go. Like it doesn't, and especially since it was not. I mean, it was in the box obviously, but like it wasn't like he was heading a ball into the goal or anything. Like he was just kind of around the outside of the box. It's like I'm okay with it not being a pin for that reason, just from where it was, because it's such a 50-50 call that like you could make arguments both ways and be completely right. I mean, the rules are just like there are no rules. So
the rules are the rules, and there are a lot of people upset with their rules. Not Red or Dead though, with that 15% hard tell. Dude, that's massive. Congratulations on that. Have fun with that. And I hope it brings you a lot of good things. But hey, while we're down on the referee and all this stuff and going against the bar, you want to know who else might catch a fine? Because he had incredibly spicy takes after this game as well, is Wilfred Nance and the Columbus Crew losing 4-0 to the Seattle Sounders in a just tragic way. It was just sad to see. Like, I was kind of excited to see what would happen, right? I was like, oh, the MLS shenanigans are here. But it got very ugly very quickly to the point where I was like, I just got to turn this off. It was just sad. For those who don't know, who those didn't see it, aren't watching on YouTube, maybe listen to the podcast, Seattle Sounders won 4-0 to the Columbus Crew because the Columbus Crew only had one goalkeeper on their game day roster. He was starting. And Lovely managed to get a red card in like the 45th minute, right before halftime, man. You almost got there. Came out, contested a ball, just missed a guy, took Jordan Morris entirely. It was just really bad. Got himself sent off. They had no goalkeeper on the bench. So the Swiss Army knife, Sean Zwatzky himself, hops into goal. The man with the plan. If you guys remember our preview all the way back, we did a Columbus Crew preview at the beginning of the season. Feels like an eternity ago. We had a big, long conversation about Sean Zwatzky and how incredible he was from the academy. And now he is a goalkeeper too, Chris. He is goalkeeper, and immediately
he is not a very good goalkeeper though.
He's no Rodrigo Schlegel. I'm just saying, okay. Saved a pen, advanced in the playoffs.
That was also one specific thing. So like obviously this is a very weird like MLS roster rules thing with the pool goalkeeper and the like. All kinds of like you have hardship exceptions and you can bring people up in certain situations. I didn't see a lot about this, but all I saw was Tom Bogert saying like, he said something to the effect of like he was confused as to why a certain team was allowed to bring up a guy 6 times and Columbus was told they couldn't bring somebody up after 4 times. Because the other team had used the Olympic exception, but also Columbus should have been using the Olympic exception. So, like, why couldn't they also? Because the rule is 4 times throughout a season you can use this rule,
which is like insanely low to begin with. I feel
just like plan your roster better. Like, don't if you've got guys that are gonna be on national teams, you got to have extra depth there. Like, come on.
But to be fair,
what are we talking about?
Schulte, what is it, and Hagen that are on international, and then Bush is hurt. So then he got hurt. So then they have this other, and then that's why they went out and got Romero. Like Romero was the solve to that issue. And then he got a red card. But on top of that, so how you're saying is like academy kids, like they can come up, they have a specific window of contracts. And the NBA does this too with the G League. Like 2-way players, like they could only be on like the main like first team roster, like only like 30 times, I think, throughout a season, which is a lot more. Obviously, there's 82 games in that season. But then one of the games that got docked from their academy goalkeeper was that friendly against Villa that they did.
Oh,
Yes. So one of the games that counted was a friendly against Villa, which that's kind of on Columbus for not doing that math.
Well,
but at the same time, like, how does that even count?
MLS? That's on the MLS for not telling them that I would assume a friendly wouldn't count.
Right.
Because, like, why wouldn't it just be league games? Like, why would we not be allowed to do things for friendlies? Like, for a friendly, there are no rules.
Yeah, who cares?
Like, there are no rules whatsoever.
Make 15 subs. I don't care.
You could throw 15 people out there if you want. Like, there aren't rules here. Like, so I don't know why MLS is doing roster rules on friendlies. That's stupid. But yeah, like I would assume that was Columbus not knowing that a friendly would count. And so they did it. And then they were like, okay, we still have one left. And they were like, we're going to use it for this game. And they're like, no, you can't. And it's like, what do you mean we already used it? It's a friendly. It doesn't get like, that seems like just miscommunication. And from a league standpoint, like from a competition standpoint, if that happens where like there's a miscommunication, you should like just make an exception and let them do the thing. Like it's a competition thing. Like you're only going to let them have one goalkeeper because they have some like crazy roster.
Because MLS is MLS.
You're going to get more bad publicity from having this situation happen than you are if you just like let them have a backup goalkeeper. It's not that big a deal.
Which has already been a point of contention, especially this season, since like they're throwing all this money around, except for the one place that it matters. Which isn't. It's a weird rule. Either way, yeah, the biggest mistake is not running Seattle stack. But let's be real. Everybody looked at Seattle away to Columbus.
Oh yeah,
like even with rotation, because like no Kuchel,
you still have Rossi, you still have Arston, still have Nagby. Like you still got some dudes in there. Like it's not the best lineup they could throw out there. But
no, but this Columbus B team, they are so deep. The way and even going on roster rules, they have navigated the roster rules so well. Yeah. That, like a lot of these guys are on really, really cheap, like team-friendly deals that are way overperforming, whether it's because of Wilfred Nancy, they're bought in, they're just playing at a different level where it's like, it should be just make it make sense, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently the game against America also counted.
I love Red or Dead's comment here. Like, yeah, try to explain to a Chelsea fan that has 35 goalkeepers on their roster that this like could happen to a team. Like Chelsea has 116 players on contract. Like they've got every national team player from Burkina Faso just on reserve, just in case. Like this could never happen in England for sure.
Oh man,
I love that.
Tough to see, and you hate to see it too. This pretty much put the nail in the coffin for Columbus's Crew Supporter Shield run too.
This is
which is the icing on the cake. For them, they did what they could, and it sucks because I was really excited to see some of these guys. Aziel Jackson getting the nod up top. I mean, you had Shambo starting. Dude, their wingback Herrera. I don't know what it is with them and wingbacks, but he looked incredible. He was a dog in this game. Did what he could. But yeah, it was rough. But some of these guys did look good. Didn't really get a full view of what this B team is or what the future of this team is. Assuming this team will probably get gutted at the end of the season. Unfortunately, including Nancy. It's definitely a possibility. But yeah, shout out to anybody who was brave enough to run out of Seattle Sounders stack against this Columbus team because you ate, man.
Made bank there.
You definitely ate. But,
except PSV probably did better. But
PSV didn't play. It was MLS only.
That's
MLS
true. This
teams.
was midweek. No,
yeah,
it wasn't.
This was the week.
It was international break. Sorry.
Yeah, this was the weekend to do it. So yeah, I've seen a lot of Seattle stacks very high on podiums and all that fun stuff. So congratulations, y'all. I hope you get something banging in your rewards next weekend, even in this quiet international break. But Rothrock, man, Paul Rothrock continues to be a bright spot for the Seattle team. Coming in plays, we all knew that Leo Chu wasn't that great, and Paul Rothrock put the nail in that coffin too.
Yeah.
And Pedro de la Vega not being able to stay healthy definitely helped him too. But he's showing up. He's doing fine things. It doesn't always translate to Sorare, but when you watch him on the pitch,
but he's got the AA there. Involved. If he can be a little more consistent in front of goal, like he's got some potential.
Promising player in this one, man. He is a lot. He's fun to watch. Look at that. Hey, Seattle is back, and then Rusnak with the hat trick, of course, doing the things. It was unfortunate because after the red card, off the red card, the free kick, Rusnak scores because he just picked a corner, and obviously Zawatsky was never getting to it.
It didn't even matter.
No, it didn't even matter.
Isn't that fun? Like, you get the red card and they score anyway. Like, God damn it. You should have just let him walk into the net.
It was just insult to injury, man. And then, yeah, at this point, like, they were just shooting from outside the box. They didn't care. They were just pinging balls at goal, and it was, like I said, it was tough to watch, man.
That like races your Sorare score because shot on target is like +3. So
yeah, man, they were all like they weren't even aiming, man. They were just any chance they got, just
from midfield, just launching it,
bang it. They were just banging them. So
yeah, that's what you do with a field player in goal. I'm sure their coach brought him into the locker room and was just like, "Yeah, guys, just shoot all the time."
Yeah, and they did.
See what he can do.
They came out at halftime and they just it was a completely different game. Unfortunate result.
For sure.
Yeah. Nothing to take out of it.
I'd love to see
bad for Crew fans, man.
I'd love to see them just like pull a random person out of the stands and just have them play a game and just see what would happen. Like a normal 11v11 game, but like the fans are the goalkeepers for both teams.
Right.
I'd love that. Like MLS All-Star game against Liga MX All-Stars, and it's just fan goalkeepers.
Yes, at least they could have done. Put him on the team of the week for goalkeeper.
Are we going to get a Sorare limited edition Zawatsky card?
Maybe. Would be nice. It's no Giroud, but it is what it is. Must be nice.
What was his Sorare score? Zawatsky.
I just closed it.
Did he get penalized for 3 goals given up? No, he did not.
Did he not?
He had a 58.
Yeah. And that was, I had him in one of my lineups. He had a 70 before he hopped into goal. He was like already like up there.
He did nothing else, but he just gave up a few goals, so his like all around went down a little bit. But like he's not a goalkeeper, so he didn't give up 3 goals. So it's not a decisive down.
No. Yeah, no, like because I looked, I had him in Rivals and I had him in one of my lineups this weekend. Yeah, he was like up to like 70 at one point on just AA or
his midfield card at 66.
Yeah, 66.
Oh man. That's awesome.
Dude.
I love that.
Wild stuff. And it's like, Sorare's not prepared for that kind of stuff. Like they're just like, wait, what?
No.
Like, what do we do? Help. Crazy. But hey, that's MLS, baby. That is what we do.
That's what happens.
That is what happens. That is what happens. You know what else happens? Sporting Kansas City, go to New York Red Bull and get a dang tie. Let me tell you something about this game.
This seems like a first-round playoff game that Red Bull lose in penalties.
Most likely. I got to tell you, this game was gross. It was not great, Chief. Sporting Kansas City went up thanks to Alan Pulido. They held on. It was 1-0. I was like, whatever. I had Melia. I had a clean sheet. I was winning in Rivals. I had Melia. I had Jake Davis. And then within a matter of like 5 minutes at the end of the game, they concede. And then Jake Davis gets a red card and just completely kills my lineup. Sporting Kansas City he's
sitting on an 80.
Just does nothing but inflict pain in my life. I'm glad Alex isn't here because there's no one to defend Sporting Kansas City.
Why do you have them on your team?
It was just Rivals, man.
Why are you not picking Red Bull players?
I had both actually. I did have both. I even FOMO'd into a like $3 Ryan Mira for this week. Just to put out a lineup to pair with my John Tolkien.
I feel like I had a Ryan Beer at one point.
Jay Blaze in the chat. What is up? Yeah, when we were doing the previous show, we looked and like every start that Ryan Mira had when Cornell was out was like clean sheet 70. Oh my god, that price graph.
Isn't that fun?
What are we doing? $8. I mean, $8 for a stab of some cash. I mean, if you were playing in season, it was just 12 MLS teams, 6 games. So the odds of you getting up there against SKC at home.
This guy with a classic season card for 744
at 9:30, 30 minutes before lock.
Oh,
that's the most FOMO of FOMO.
That is so FOMO. My God.
You love to see it. And it didn't even work out. Somehow, some way, of all people, Alan Pulido was the one to put a dagger in that. Yeah, it was just a boring game. Nothing really to take away from it much. Supporting Kansas City with the red cards, though. At first, it was Agata. Now it's Jake Davis. They are struggling to keep their heads screwed on for the entire match, and it kind of cost them here. But it is what it is. This New York Red Bull team, in case you missed it,
will do that to you. Red Bull is very annoying.
Yeah.
So is Red Bull falling apart?
Absolutely. Granted, they were missing Lewis Morgan, and Forsberg has been MIA for this entire season.
But yes, to answer my own question, they are falling apart.
Yes.
Yeah, not good.
No, it is not good. The Red Bulls,
they beat Cincinnati sort of in a preseason game that didn't count, but then draw at Charlotte, loss to Philly at home, draw against Kansas City at home. Yeah, bad news bears all over the place.
Yeah, Chief. The Red Bulls have fallen. I mean, they started off, and like their defense isn't bailing them out because it was one of those things where, like, yeah, they've never been high scoring, whatever, but their defense will keep them in games. It just hasn't been the same, and they had such a good start to the season that they've kind of been hanging on to that fourth spot, but not for any recent result. To the point where they're just slowly just falling from grace.
Yeah, NYC, Charlotte, and Orlando all have a game in hand.
Yeah.
So it's getting pretty tight for that fourth spot.
It's a battle for fourth, man. Orlando's coming for it. I know we have to play Charlotte.
Imagine how bad Orlando was at the start of the season, and they're still going to get a home playoff game potentially.
We're just a massive team, dude.
Orlando is coming outside of that whooping that they took.
Yo, look at that. Look at that schedule to close the season, though.
New England, at Columbus, at Dallas, at Cincy. I mean, these are
those and Columbus. Like Philly, Cincinnati, and Columbus are rough. Charlotte is a tough one too, but not away. Yeah. And then we have a nice shot for fourth, man.
Do you?
I'm excited. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that is not. I don't know. We have to look at all the schedules. But
the problem is Charlotte
didn't look very easy
because Charlotte has a really nice schedule to end the season too.
At TC, Philly home, Miami home. See, I like this schedule a lot more.
Really?
A lot more. Montreal, Nashville are free wins. At home against Cincinnati, who's falling apart. Away to Red Bull, who's falling apart. Miami, who won't really care because they've kind of wrapped up the supporter shield. And then Philly and DC. Like, that's a lovely schedule compared to this. Columbus, Cincy. So both teams play Cincy, but New York plays them at home.
Yeah, don't even talk about the Columbus game. Weird. That is not good, Chief.
Both teams play Philly. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd rather have this schedule, to be fair. But, like, it's not like they've been
NYCFC is also falling apart, too. That's the thing. Santi's kind of gone cold. And NYCFC has been another
fourth spot in the East. No one.
The what?
No one wants the fourth spot. No one's good. No, everyone's like, we don't really want to host. Like, our fans have seen us play enough times. We're good. Like, we just,
yeah, who wants that extra home game? Who wants that money?
We'll take a road game. We don't want to play at home, and then if we win that, we have to go get our pants beat off by Miami in South Beach. Although a trip to South Beach in November is...
I'm not going to lie, not for nothing. As much as I don't really want it to happen, I'm kind of down with MLS Cup being in Miami.
If we get invited, yeah.
Not even that, but it's like right down the road. I really don't have to travel. Like, it's in my backyard, basically. Like, that would be prime scenario for me, except for the fact that I would probably have to see him win MLS Cup before us, and then I'm not stoked about that.
You know what's fun? Orlando is going to get the 4-5 seed and go to Miami in this Eastern Conference semi. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Orlando's
going to be electric.
Orlando's going to get smoked. But it's going to be fun. Would you go to that? Would you pay those prices to go to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would. Oof. That'd be spicy, man.
That would be a very big game.
Might need to
probably
go
the biggest
for some
game
bail
in
money,
either
to be honest.
team's history. Eastern Conference semi against the rival with Messi on the field. Like, for Miami, they didn't make the Open Cup final, right?
Yeah, they did. They lost it.
Oh, they lost. Did they lose that to Houston?
Yeah, they lost to Houston. But they won the Leagues Cup final.
Maybe the Leagues Cup final. Although I don't consider Leagues Cup a thing. So
it's not a real
biggest MLS game in either team's history. Let's put it that way. I would think.
Yeah, fair. It would be fun though. The scenes though, they'd probably have to move that to Hard Rock. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's one of those that you move to Hard Rock, including the fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they would. Don Garber wants that ticket money, boy.
You'd sell that place out in a heartbeat. Problem is, are the Dolphins there? Like you can't play there when the Dolphins are there.
So, yeah, probably. It's a week, probably last week in November, something like that. So, end of November, yeah. Would be tough scenes. But hey, there are only 2 more games this weekend. A little short and sweet to ease you back into all the action. It's after this weekend coming up, and today we're gonna get you back in the MLS spirit. What better way to do it than this thrilling 0-0 Vancouver Whitecaps FC Dallas match?
Ooh.
But
peak Sorare.
But
Jimmy Maurer
though.
Oh my God, Jimmy Mauer's back.
Yes, baby.
Yo, I've been waiting years for this moment.
Look at that. Look at that L5 1540 Jimmy Maurer.
Oh my God.
The one and only MLS
I had him when he was 32, and I was like, he's not going to start anymore. Oh, man. Yeah, I paid more than $5 for his rare. That's that's a thing.
Did you pay for it up here?
Oh yeah,
humps and lumps.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't pay more than $1,000 for it, but
oh man, the fall from grace from
yeah. By the way, if you're new to Sorare, that used to be normal because there was no limited. So like the best players were like more than $1,000, and it was a crazy time.
$1,800 Jimmy Maurer.
I remember paying more than I think it was $2,000 for Diego Rossi.
To that $5 Jimmy Maurer. Oh, how far we've come. Oh, from 1,800 to 5.
I have paid $60 for a limited Jimmy Maurer in the past. That's happened.
Oof.
But it's okay because I sold it for 78. And rare.
And MLS Silver Scout got one for
look
88
at that.
cents.
I paid $385, sold $501.
Oh, profit, baby. That's
picking up the money. Picking up the money. You gotta make money, you know? I really thought I had a worse experience with Jimmy Maurer than I did. But I did buy these on the way down, so I kind of gave most of it back.
No.
That's okay.
You win some, you lose some.
Now they're 71 cents.
Massive.
So I paid $78.05. So I got 1,000 times. Is that what that is, or is that 100 times?
100 would be 7. So yeah, 1,000 times, 10,000.
I think it's 100 times. But I got 100
math.
100x. What that is right now.
Dear Lord, the legend, the GOAT, Jimmy Maurer. Yeah, this game is gross. This game put me to sleep, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Late night MLS.
Between 2 bad teams.
Well, it's like Vancouver were missing like 7 players. I will say Ryan Raposo looked incredible in this game. He's just such a fun player, man.
Can we, as MLS, the league that sends like the 6th most players to the World Cup every year of like all the leagues, like outside of the Big 5, like MLS is next.
Yeah.
Can we like not play international games when we're not supposed to anymore? Like maybe we're past that at this point. Just a thought.
I'm so glad you said that because I was thinking about that the other day where I was like, I kind of understand why MLS used to play through international breaks. I don't think it used to matter. Like, sure, you would get some here or there.
Many people.
The Grand Super one massive DP that's on his retiring, like on his like farewell tour with his international team, Luis Suarez. And like it was fine, but now like these teams are getting gutted. You're losing 3, 4, 5, 7 players because the quality of MLS is just increasing to the point where it's like, yes, I completely agree. they kind of have to look at it and go, okay, like we can't keep doing this.
And you look at some of these like Costa Rican teams, and like half their players come from MLS, and like it doesn't
Panama.
make it like it's not even like the European, like the big teams. Like yes, you have your Messis and your Suarez's, but like it's not even that. Like the Uruguayan team has like Facundo Torres on it, has Luis Suarez on it, has like even some of the big South American teams have a bunch of MLS players. So like
Cucho got finally back with Colombia.
Can we not? Like, can we stop this? Like, if we're gonna say that we can't play Open Cup because it's so important that we play MLS regular season games, maybe don't make it so that we have to throw like third string guy. I was trying really hard not to be like offensive to like these guys, like terrible player. Like, can we just
bottom feeders?
Can we please just have like the teams play for a season? Like, if you can't get 34 games in, play 28 games. You know?
Whoa.
Like,
we already don't even play every team in the league once. Like,
yeah,
which is a whole nother conversation.
Why are we not just playing everybody in the Eastern and Western Conference twice? That'd be 26 games. And then have like whatever kind of playoff you want. Like, don't play Western teams. You save on travel. You save on like you do all this, and then when you get to like the MLS Cup final, it's like a special thing because these teams never play. It's like, who knows who's better between the Eastern and Western Conference? I
heard a conversation the other day about changing the playoffs to, instead of like East versus West, you do it by supporter shield standings, and that's how you do the seedings. So you get like all these crazy matches like all throughout the entire playoffs.
And like travel wise, I'd hate that. Like the United States is a huge country. In England, that works because it's like it doesn't matter who you're playing; they're less than 5 hours away. In the U.S., like you can travel like 5,000 miles to play a game. It's not like travel is the thing, people. Like if you want high quality, don't make these guys fly across the country every week.
Dude, just wait for the World Cup, man.
Huh?
Just wait for the World Cup because that's gonna be interesting.
I know.
That'll be, especially after the last one was in Qatar, where like it was all like in the same little general area, like in the same city. Like they didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Like, you guys are in for a world of hurt. But yeah, I definitely agree that the international break thing, it's time to look at the window and like, hey, there's a little bit more quality than there used to be in this league. And it's time to look at that, you know?
Yeah.
It is definitely time to start changing.
I get the schedule congestion thing, but like maybe don't play a preseason tournament for a month in the middle of the season. You know, that's an idea.
How long before that tournament comes to the Prem?
Against who?
Just an in-season tournament within the Prem. Another one. Or like an intra-league. Maybe.
Why? Have you ever heard of this thing called the FA Cup?
Yeah. But hey, why not? We're all doing this cup. Was it? Someone like there's actually like a like top league who's like considering and like looking at Leagues Cup and like studying it because they want to like there are some European yeah, it is.
It's like
money, baby.
I get
especially with all these American owners going over to Europe and buying up teams over there. It's a matter.
It makes more money. Like
it's
awesome. It makes more money. It's don't throw away the things that are making you money for other things that are making you money.
Oh, that could be applied to so many ways.
I really don't mind Leagues Cup as a thing, except for the fact that that's the excuse for not playing the U.S. Open Cup. Like you're throwing away all the tradition because you want this new shiny thing, and like no one's going to care about Leagues Cup in 2 years because it won't be new and shiny anymore.
Yeah,
and then they're going to come up with some other. They're going to come up with some other. It only took a year because Messi wasn't here in his first year. But like that's my point. Like the Open Cup is like the best format that you can have, especially top to bottom. Like I get you want to play more games against big teams, but like you have to like the whole ecosystem is a thing. You know, like there are other people that are also playing. You can help out tremendously when you play those games.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
like I was looking at our season from last year and this year, and our season itself is like very similar, but we had the Columbus game last year. It's like we got helped tremendously by that Columbus game last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Like just practically, Yeah.
And the Premier League will never share any of the money with any other league.
But then you get to a point where all those other leagues die, and you have 20 teams. It's a monopoly thing, Like competition is better for the marketplace. It's not better for the individual companies.
Yeah, but I mean, now we're just getting off the rails here, and I'm not even gonna open up that doorway. But the Champions League, I don't know if you saw the new format and the new groupings, and it's basically the Super League. It's basically what we're talking about. Just intra-league competition, big tournament.
Well, the problem with the Super League was never the Super League itself. It was who was controlling Super League. So as long as UEFA's in control of it, that's fine. It was when the teams tried to do something, that was when it became a problem.
Whoa.
Because you need
Daniel
the league.
Cooper, good evening.
Let's get that straight. The league is very important in this.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, there's one more game this weekend. Again, you can tell that who cares because another 0-0 back-to-back nonsense.
Yay.
Houston Dynamo hosting LAFC to a 0-0. This game was fun, regardless of it being 0-0. It was kind of back and forth, not as back and forth at the pace that you're used to seeing, especially from LAFC, where you could tell they were set up for the counter, but there was just no counter. Because there's no Denny Buonga, there's no Bogusz. You can see, Atuesta would get the ball.
Kamara and Olivier Giroud up top, and we're gonna counter.
It's funny because off a set piece, you would see Atuesta or Ilie get the ball, look up, pick their head up, and then just stop. You could tell, they were so ready to send it, but they're oh, there's nobody to send it to.
There's two 38-year-olds up top. Never mind.
And then
just gonna keep it.
And dude, I wish I could remember the
exact
exact
really
play.
A thing? Is that what they did? They tried to play on the counterattack with two 35 plus.
No, but this is the even better part. And there was one specifically that I remember because I was dying laughing. Is there was at one point where they tried to do the same thing. The same scenario was off the corner. They look up, and then you see Timmy Tillman, who is finally back officially, by the way, realize it late. He was oh yeah, and then he just takes off running, trying to make the run, but at that point, it was just way too late, and you're oh, this is so bad. It was just it was tough seats, but it was a fun back and forth.
Ben Olsen's just sitting there laughing as he has to defend against two 35-plus-year-olds on the counter.
It was great, but they did have some. They had some moments in this game. It wasn't just completely boring. They did. Lewis O'Brien looks great for this team. Coming in. DC United dumped him, so LAFC was okay, bet. And yeah, they picked him up.
Highly rated coming into DC. He just came into a dumpster fire.
That's the problem. And he did look good he looked good at DC. It's just the rest of the team was so bad that it was never going to go great. But yeah, just what you would expect. Aaron Long getting a good score. Palencia, Segura, Hollingshead doing the things they do. Almost lost a clean sheet. I think it got ruled offside. So my heart sank a little bit. Almost lost that Steve Clark clean sheet, but didn't. And yes, a yellow for Ache himself, who is continuing to score well, regardless of the decisives. No decisives, who cares? Because Hector Herrera is getting it done anyway. Yeah, doing the opposite of what he does.
DC's in the playoffs. All right. I'll show you these two conference standings again. DC is in the playoffs right now. Sure, they've played more games than everybody else, but let's not look at that.
Yeah. Either way, dude, this Houston team is fun. Ezekiel Ponce having a rough start, but he makes runs. He looks cool. He looks all right, but Houston still can't score, but they're okay defensively. After beating LA the week before 1-0. So, hey, back-to-back results. Back-to-back points off of LAFC. That's how massive this Houston Dynamo team is.
That's actually really big, too, for playoff-wise.
That's huge.
Yeah. Huge job.
Yeah. Going into this, I had to be kind of talked off the ledge because I was very scared to play Houston.
Why did LAFC play Houston back-to-back in regular season play?
So this game was the makeup game from the game that got postponed earlier in the season.
That's really weird.
Due to weather.
That's the timing that they had to pick was a back.
Well, they put it in the international break here, yeah. So the last one, in LA was last week officially scheduled. And then, this was technically the makeup game for that. So
Houston kind of unfortunate has timing. No game between 10-5 and 10-19.
Wait, what?
Yeah, 10-5 and 10-19. They must have a bye the second to last week. So
thrown
it in a midweek somewhere in there. I guess that wouldn't really be fair to LAFC. Oh, I hate these stupid links.
Well, because they have they have 3 games in hand? 2 games in hand, or this is one of them?
Yeah, LAFC, they've got 2 games in hand.
Yeah, so they have 2 more in still. So, yeah, I mean, their schedule is going to be congested enough as it is, especially after that Leagues Cup run. So,
they could have thrown it in a midweek right here, you know?
Yeah, but close to the playoffs, and you're trying to chill and hang out.
Yeah, just throw it in before this midweek, right here. This midweek, right here, like the 10th.
Nah, get it out of the way now. Get it over with.
Don't make them play back to back against the same team. That's so dumb. Hey, this week though, El Tráfico, big game.
Oh, El Tráfico this week, huh?
Big game.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
At Galaxy.
Hey, I don't know if you missed it. You were making fun of me for buying that Gabriel Peck when it first got minted, but hey, I won cash in season with him. The first game week.
How much cash?
$5.
And how much did you pay for it?
40.
Okay, only got to win 35 more to make that
baby,
worth it.
Let's go. Chipping away. We got a couple weeks.
You got to win more than that because you have 5 players on that team, so you need more than $35.
Oh, he was paired with an Orlando City stack, which I've had forever, so that's already taken care of. And then Georgi Mihailovic, I also bought that week, but that was like $6, so it's fine. It's fine. We'll make it back.
That's actually not.
I paid for the Georgie. I got the Georgie.
Isn't terrible.
Yes, Pujan Peck, chef season. They gonna be cooking. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
the game of the weekend is Hell is Real though.
Can we just like briefly take a look at the schedule for this weekend, because
yes,
there are some spicy games.
We'll have a preview on Thursday for the whole weekend, as we always do. Alex's incredible picks, but yeah, let's take a peek. It's a short episode. There's a lot to talk about.
Little peeky. You got El Tráfico, which is a fabulous game. You've got Hell is Real, which is a fabulous game. You've got the OG Battle for the South before Charlotte was a thing.
Battle for the Wooden Spoon.
Now it's the Battle for the Wooden Spoon.
And we will be there. Come hang out with us in Atlanta.
Yes. Very fascinating.
Alex will be there too.
Very fascinating game here. Yeah, I mean,
Miami Philly has like the makings to be like just a goal fest. Like that is just screaming 3-3 chaos.
Potentially.
Just shenanigans. That is shenanigans. Oh yeah, there are. I mean, Houston RSL in theory, if RSL can get their life together. Tough scenes over there, but it is Gavin Beaver season. It's officially Gavin Beaver season. Oh, they're just continuing.
They're dead.
Yeah. Minnesota is dead.
Colorado, Portland. Anybody?
Colorado, Portland. That'll be fun though.
That's
Colorado.
Kind of fun game.
Yo, does anybody want to go hang out with the Bad Boy? Bad Boy, are you going to Hell is Real?
Yeah,
that'll be fun. I definitely want to make it out to a Hell is Real at some point. That would be one hell of a match to attend.
Literally. Either of those stadiums is really nice too.
Yeah, maybe not this weekend, but hey, I will make that trip at some point. I'll hit you up.
Did look at that. That was on my list of games, and then we decided Atlanta was a thing, and I was like, okay, fine. Like because like we're off this weekend.
Right.
We're away, but
yeah.
So, and we don't have like a concert or anything. So it was this was on my list of weekends to look at, and I didn't really want to pay for it, though, to be fair.
Well, blame Hunter over there from Sideline Talk, who is having an MLB meetup in Atlanta the same weekend. So hey, why not join all the American sport? This is so rare in the States, right?
Yeah,
so like,
hey, you
got to get them all together.
I'm here for it. I wanted to go see Hunter anyway, so
yeah, that'll be the first time we're meeting Hunter in person too. So that'll be cool. There's gonna be a couple of people on the baseball side. I know Miguel, who's in the
I
chat.
haven't seen in a while. Yeah.
Oh, you met him already?
Yeah, he was at Red Sox Yankees a few years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be some.
Got to get the Detroit Bad Boy out here to one of these. Yeah, there's a whole community of people. There's a whole bunch of y'all in the States. We got to get y'all together. Get everyone down to Miami for the final.
Oh God, someone's gonna beat him. I bet you somebody's gonna beat him. Somebody's gonna take him down. I'm just waiting for it.
Maybe we'll see. But yeah, we're almost at an hour here. If anybody hanging out in the chat, shout out to everybody who's hanging out in the chat. Shout out to everybody who tuned in for this short, little sweet week recap of the crazy, chaotic weekend. It's funny, if anybody's in the Major League Sorare Discord, we were all kind of like laughing that Columbus only had one keeper, and like we're just like, haha. And then it happened. What are the odds that it would literally happen? Like, oh, one keeper, like, oh, crazy. Wilfred Nance doesn't care. But imagine, I think I posted, I was like, if it does happen, I was like, who would be the one to step in? A lot of people thought it would be Christian Ramirez, which kind of sounded right. I agreed. I was in that boat. But no, Sean Zawadski, the Swiss Army knife himself, man.
I mean, when you're a Swiss Army knife, that's kind of your role. You know, you gotta be able to take on any job, including one that you're completely and woefully under.
That's a whole different job. Like, that's like you say, like, put Rudy Camacho. Like, he has that dog. He has that dog to get in there and do something. Like Rodrigo Stego, that's a crazy dog. That's a crazy dude, man.
You just look at whoever's the tallest and just go, you're going in. You know, like, I guess you got the best chance. Like,
who's the lanky one?
Who's the guy that has the best reflexes on the team? You know, like, I feel like that's what you got to look for.
Nah, you got to go with the craziest one on the team, man. You got to go with just that junkyard dog.
I guess goalkeeper union is a thing, huh?
Everyone says anybody who's a goalkeeper, man, they got some screws loose in that noggin.
That's fair.
Yeah. Nagby would have been awesome. Just add to his pedigree. What can't that man do?
Nagby wins MLS Cup as a goalkeeper. Yo, that's wild.
I mean, at this point, you might as well, right? Like, yeah, 90% pass completion, 90% save rate.
They have to rename a whole new position for him.
So, yeah, it was crazy scenes.
So, I'd like to point out that something magical is happening, and I will further on my cause here. If you would be so kind as to pull up my screen, we are now in the playoffs.
Ooh, let's
baby.
Go.
We are up to 7th, and a massive win over Rhode Island, which gives us the tiebreak over them too, which is huge. We are now firmly in position to control a little bit of what's going on. And I would also like to point out the reason why we are in position to control our own destiny. So I'm going to pull up our schedule here. I'd like you to tell me, when in this season did everything change? Did everything flip? What was the game? Loss, draw, loss, draw, loss. Win, draw, win, draw, win, draw, win. This is the game. This is the game right here, right?
Yeah.
What did we do differently in this game? We changed our intro song to It's been 2 months officially now that we haven't lost since we changed this song. It is working. It is legitimately just working.
When you stop playing
So Rare too.
So you're saying when you stopped playing So Rare and started focusing on your day job,
that's
you just all of a sudden started winning?
That's crazy. Oh man.
What are the freaking odds?
I'm just pointing that out because it's awesome. And like every game that it continues to go on, it gets even more fun. And like we've had some heartbreaks in here too. Like,
by the way, I'm not gonna lie. I want you guys to match up with the Rowdies in the playoffs away.
We play away to the Rowdies this weekend, actually.
It's regular season. I ain't going to the Rowdies for that. But if I get to go see the Riverhounds beat the Rowdies in a playoff game,
I might come down. Maybe. Maybe.
That's stupid.
It's very possible. Like they're going to end up being 3rd. So if we're 6th, that's where it is.
Yeah. Down to go.
Crazy thing too. We've had
trouble.
We've had 2 games that we've tied in the last 4. Against Indy 11, they scored at 96 minutes when there were 5 minutes of stoppage time. And against Colorado Switchbacks, they scored deep into stoppage time as well. So like we easily could have had 2 more.
That on the dream run, you might as well call yourselves the dang Mighty Ducks. But hey, let's get these people out of here. It was a fun weekend. Like I said, we'll be in Atlanta this weekend. If you're in the area, hit us up, slide into our DMs, all that fun stuff. We'll be at the Brew House pub. There you go, over in Atlanta. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Either way, if you're interested, let us know. I might have a few extra tickets if you're here this late and you already know. Hey, but yeah, shout out. We'll be tomorrow, most likely doing another Road to Glory episode with ZM Star. Get a little catch up that, crack some more essence, maybe open some more boxes. I know our rival squad just got promoted again onto Division 8, back-to-back promotions. Probably a preview on Thursday, and then who knows? Maybe we'll live stream at the weekend with everybody. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. I'm so glad. Yep, Chris the MLS card guy is back. Shout out to everyone who was here in the chat. Red or Dead, what's up? Appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Good luck this midweek if you have anything, and if not, let's take the weekend by storm, baby. Let's go. Peace.